pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, so what nothing?
One of the resolutions for the property.
Oh, yeah, I was really kind of surprised to see that the Boyds want that. I kind of lost contact with the family. Jack's brother, who passed away way too young, was our neighbor, right through our backyard. So is this like any idea?
He's already contacted so if you're familiar with the property right there, the pine trees along the property line between Jim and Tony, he's already contacted an arborist to come down and take down those pine trees, and is looking to he's looking to build a house out there.
Really?
Yeah. That's my understanding.
What did he pay? Just 45, the minimum bid?
No.
Oh,
45.
So the minimum bid was 43,500. He paid 45,500.
oh, nobody else?
I think somebody else did. I thought the two neighbors there would.
Yeah.
And Tony, I don't know that Tony did at all, and Jim's family did not.
So it was?
Well, all right.
Well, that's not as much as we wanted, but.
Yeah.
I would have
At least it's out of our.
loved more.
So I guess we'll review the minutes real quick.
So I can go with that resolution I had for that. And so that's part of the public, we're required to have the public hearing to dispose of that property, which was for today. So the resolution I had typed up here is essentially, I'll read it so we got it on record, but it be it resolved that Washington Township Board, the fiscal body, and the trustee, the executive of Porter County pursuant to Indiana Code 1336-1-11-3, wishes to dispose of the township-owned property on County Road 600 North under that parcel number. Public hearing shall be held on November 6, 2025 at 5:30 p.m. at the station here. The property was assessed by two licensed appraisers at $80,000 and was advertised under IC 5-3-1 and through the Schrader auction website as well. A minimum bid for the property was established at $43,500, or that's $43,500, based on the property's characteristics and the board and trustees' knowledge of the property. Schrader Auction was retained as the auctioneer for the property in accordance with Indiana Code 36-1-11-4. Online bidding began on October 31st at 2025 at noon and closed November 5th, 2025 at 5 p.m. with the highest bidder placing a bid of $45,500 following the bidding procedures outlined in the auction terms under Addendum A. It is resolved that the highest bid of $45,500 has been submitted to Washington Township for final approval on November 6, 2025 during the public hearing. Closing shall be on or before December 8th, 2025, according to the auction terms as listed in Part B of the addendum. Be it further resolved that Washington Township Board at a public hearing has approved the disposal and sale of this parcel to the highest buyer at $45,500.
All right, just reiterating what
We have to accept that.
that's been, that our signature would be
Is that
our
okay?
acceptance, yeah. So, yes, move to accept.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll sign those papers in our next.
Yeah, once I've got that typed up or printed, it's typed up. It's
Okay, well, that's good.
It's good, not great, but.
Yes, right, that wasn't great. It's done.
No, I watched it yesterday. got in the last hour and made a phone call to a few people, and I really thought there at the last few minutes and we might see some movement. None.
No, no.
Hmm.
Yeah, I really thought that the neighbors would have a little more interest. But I know them both, and not terribly surprised. They wanted to slide in there for 20K.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
Well, we doubled that.
Mm.
Yeah. And more than the-
Yeah, with 20 into it, just getting it sellable. So
Yeah.
kind of messy, but so I move to accept the minutes from the last meeting.
And I second. I just read them.
You did?
I just read them. Oh, you want me?
No, I have.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. We're good there. I was-
Oh, here we have it. You need that. I don't need it. And I wrote on it.
Oh, I
That's
thought
fine. That's fine. I just wanted to look over your
I wrote
shoulder.
all of this.
Okay.
I don't need it. He needs it.
All right, so we are gonna help out PCACS with transportation costs.
So this is their transportation of seniors and disabled individuals in Washington Township. So between April 30th and this month, there was 293 trips
Wow.
within the township. So that equates to about 20, and we'll call it 25 trips in there. So a trip would be a pickup from a home and transported to maybe a doctor's office. What they ask their clientele now is to pay $1 towards that trip to help offset cost. But you factor in, I could tell you, Center Township and Portage Township are the two heavy hitters. They're over, in that same time frame, they were over 3,000 trips. So Porter County Aging and Community Services is looking at where can we find more funds to keep that service in place. The only other service like that is offered by Opportunity Enterprise, my understanding, and they charge, I think, $17 per trip. Lake County charges, what they're looking to do, and as my understanding is mirror Lake County. So all the townships, what I've been told is all the townships in Lake County help offset that cost, but they charge their clientele $5 per trip. So if you take that, those figures they had there, and what I did is looked at 293, multiply that by 5, and turn around, multiply by 2 for the 2 trips, you run up just $2,930. So just rounded it up to 3, with the hope that the other townships, PCACS, their hope is the other townships are doing the same thing, and that is to help offset that cost. But those numbers there are specific to, so they are tracking by township as well. So it's not all. So those funds will be used to help the seniors and disabled within Washington Township.
That's good.
So up until now, the county's absorbed all of it?
Not so it is county funded. So there's allocations from county government to that organization, but a lot of it's been United Way, and everybody's reducing what they used to have another program in there. I don't have their form with me, but there's a program that they had to cut too because of their funding cuts within that, and they are dependent on the NERPC, which organization. They just recently bought new buses through a grant with them, so they're very grant dependent and dependent on donations and volunteers. So if you know anybody that's looking for volunteers, they need volunteers down there as well.
To drive people around.
So they will hire bus drivers, and they're looking to hire a bus driver now. But the big thing is they don't have enough people in the office to handle the incoming phone calls. So you would call and schedule a transportation. I need picked up Friday morning at 8. Problem is they don't have enough people to answer the phones and get back to that. People get discouraged and think, well, they're not providing that. They are. They just don't have people to help out that. And this time of year, from October 1st until I think the end of March or middle of March, is when they had the energy assistance program, and they are flooded with applicants for that as well.
Yeah, I'm surprised nobody has developed an app.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you can get an Uber to show
They're
you
looking
your
at that.
house in 10 minutes.
They are looking at it.
Okay.
But then it's the same thing. You need, so they do have a transportation director, but same thing, that she's got all these incoming calls. So for just one person to keep that organized and dispatch the drivers here and there, that's where they need more help.
Yeah, they used to have 6, I think, buses when I was working on them. Or they did that dwindle
So
down?
the impression I get is they're getting away from those
Oh,
the large
the
minibus.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're getting smaller version of that.
Oh. Well, yeah, they
Because then you don't have, you guys don't, they have to have their driver's license for hire, but they don't have a CDL or a chauffeur's type
They were
license.
never full anyhow. I always thought that
Right.
was overkill. All right. So when will we? Will we not get the report back on the tracking until what? January of 27? So this is the first year we're going to help them with
First year. So that's there's a new director in there, Tony. So she's getting her feet wet right now to get in there. And so I said, hey, it's short notice because of our meeting tonight. We met with them last Thursday. So a week ago, we sat down with them, and a handful of the trustees from the county were there to discuss, what programs they had in place and what their needs were and what they're doing. So I imagine by the end of December of 26, I'll ask again and say,
Yeah.
Can you show us? Because they're tracking, they're breaking down more. They're tracking more. I guess they're pulling more data of what they've had there, so they can break stuff down. The number of trips.
So
Is there a specific address or location they're going to?
So which fund is this being drawn from?
It's from the general fund.
Okay.
So we've allocated. It is the same fund that the summer league is supported by.
Yeah, they used to have half a dozen E450s and then a little Chevy, 1 or 2 Chevy minivans, but they all had wheelchair lifts.
Mhm.
And that's where I came into play. I was bronze certified.
Oh, right.
And I was
For the lifts.
lifts, yeah.
So there's an issue. We met with them in 24, and same thing. They were looking for newer vehicles for transportation. But at that time, NERC was pushing electric vehicles.
Oh,
And so what they've got, I understand, they're gas engines.
yeah,
They didn't go electric route.
yeah. Yeah, for a while they were pushing natural gas. There was a company that showed up where I was working at the time with just a E450, but it was converted over to natural gas.
Compressed natural gas.
Yeah. It was all concept and it never left the ground. Never heard anything about it. I mean, they had a complete working prototype. It was totally feasible. But,
Sure done, because I would buy it. Yeah.
All right, so I think we got the heavy hitters out of the way. We all signed the nepotism.
Get the nepotism forms taken care of.
Public comment, we have no public.
Well,
Jean can talk about her meeting last night.
I was going to ask you if you went.
Jean heard more than I did because of
Or if you had any words of wisdom.
Yeah, the county park, right?
well,
City Hall.
I don't really have any. Bob knows a whole lot more about it.
Was he there with you?
Yes, and it's the TIF stuff that bugs him, because they TIF the stuff that, the land that the RDC bought and TIFed is TIFed. they want to put that into the housing, which would mean the kids would come to Washington and with no taxes. Unless we can get them to continue to let our tax money go through. But that wasn't something that they signed that it would continue all the time. It was for this certain area. Now they've just more. So we were gonna have to convince them to get it through or else fight the whole thing or something. And the stupid thing is Valpo never fights it. They let all the money go to RDC. So they said out loud that they would not do data centers. They are saying light industry could be distribution centers, but I don't know. And they have water wells, and everybody was upset about that. And when was pretty outspoken, people weren't happy.
It was packed, so I was in the hallway and couldn't hear. That's the problem. I couldn't hear. Folks that were speaking didn't have a mic, so I couldn't hear their questions. And Mayor finally went in there, and some of his responses, I couldn't hear what was talked, but I could tell it was not pleasant.
No,
It got pretty heated.
they don't
And-
trust them at all.
Yeah.
And
I
there
heard
were
quite a bit
lot-
about a bologna sandwich
lot
at one
of-
point in time.
A lot of Washington Township people were there.
Right.
Because Vanessa sent flyers, 500 out, so, in Washington. So there were a lot of flyers. She sent flyers out about the meeting,
Oh.
that people should come. If they want to have input about what's going on, it's Washington Township plan.
Yeah.
Do you have any input on A or B, which is?
It's all, it's the
Well, there's
same.
C2, and so that's what people,
Yeah,
when you talk to people about it, there is an online survey.
right, I saw that.
So my plan is to share that. I've sent that to Wall. I said, share with your neighbors. Although it says option A and option B in that little block, you can say, hey, I have option C, and my option C is this, and explain why. Now, they only give you 100 words or 100 spaces. Yeah, I forget whether it's words or characters in there. So it's very limited with that. But and that's the fellows. I stayed till about 6 o'clock and kind of listened to what people had to say. I can't say I met anybody that was happy with it entirely,
I don't really
whether
have a
option A or
problem
option
with
B.
it. I mean, other than what you just mentioned.
There was the farmer to the north of 500. There was a lot of long discussion about drainage. There's been drainage issues up in the past. It was recently, probably in the last 10 years, he was saying was corrected. And now you're going to where that water drains, develop over top of that. So now where's the water going to go at that point in time? I heard a lot of folks that were upset about the lack of green space. There's an apartment they were looking at, the concept, and it's all concept plans. It's nothing. It's in concrete. The apartment at one option would be option A. The apartment complex is to the north. The next, it's to the south. But either way, to the north, you've got this light industrial area to the west of you. If it's on the south side, you've got this, and you're looking at the back of this industrial area.
See, light industrial is like what's behind me, and that is not an issue.
I'd rather they take that out and make it either green space
Well, yeah.
or I'd like to see a lot more affordable housing.
Affordable housing.
So it became a discussion about affordable housing.
And I'm not against the housing stuff because we need enrollment.
Right.
That's really bad.
And we need, I can tell you from the township assistance side, when it comes to rent, we need affordable housing.
Yeah.
Lakes of Valpo might be a nice apartment, but for somebody that's getting paid $15 an hour, working wherever, it's not affordable. And that number of affordable opportunities is very limited in this area. So I've got the survey. I've not submitted mine yet because I want to look at those pictures a bit more.
My feeling
We'll see what
really
happens.
is, no matter how much we say or talk, they're gonna do it.
So my understanding, the hospital owns, there's part of it's, the east side of it is owned by the redevelopment commission. I think the hospital has got the west side of that lot. And my understanding is there's already works of them developing that area. I'm kind of surprised they haven't
Yeah,
already. They're waiting for a gas station to pop up in the corner or something like that. There was discussion about the intersection of 500 North and 49. Again, the guys up there speaking at the poster boards were the architects. They weren't city officials. At least the folks I had with me, they weren't city officials. They were just merely the architects that designed the concepts. So when it came to discussions about, what's the plan for 500 North and 49, if this comes to fruition, what are you going to do about traffic control there at that intersection? There's talks about putting in, I don't know about another dog bone like they have at 400 North, but doing something, some type of overpass at 500.
It's the old thing that we can't find city hall.
If you're loud enough.
You can try.
So,
All you want,
so
you
the
make a lot of
county's
noise,
proposition
but
is to take this land that they annexed into the city, obviously not make a park out of it, but do some sort of housing and light industry.
So a mix. So it'd be light industry. And I'll send you what I've got. It's like some photos. So very little, the southern end of that property is all kind of a wetland.
Yeah,
So it's just like a trail. They talked about a trail, just keeping that green space. But then, some office complex to go along with your medical complex. One of I think option B maybe had a restaurant down in the corner there at 400 North and 49 in that general area.
I understand like Eastport is like light industry.
That's what I was saying. I mean, I remember how much flack there was when
Oh,
that
sure,
was.
yeah.
Right.
I don't mind, yes, I moved to Woodruff.
It doesn't
I'll let
affect
you
our
talk.
subdivisions or anything.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Say hi to Bob.
Yes, I have. Is he over there? Oh, okay.